Welcome to the second video. This video is also focused on using various tools Excel gives you to analyze data. So as you can see, I have a different data set today, and I'll be starting where we left off the previous day. We left off at pivot tables. So what we'll be doing today is finding the full potential of using pivot tables and seeing how pivot tables can be useful for us to analyze a data set. In this example, I have a sample data set which has in column A the usual number of hours a person works, the education level he or she has, what yearly earnings he or she has, what's the sex, and the age of the person. So I'll be linking down below where you can find this data set. It's again a public available data set, and anyone can download it for free and use it for analysis. So as we can see here, this data set has 5 categories, and we can do the same kind of stuff that we did in the previous video, like finding out the mean, the average, the maximum income, how many male and female candidates are there, what's the average number of hours worked by person, and again distributing it according to male or female or according to education number of years. And again, I showed you in the previous video that you can do all these things very easily using pivot tables. Pivot tables does give you the power to visualize the data in a very easy way. So we'll do the same thing using pivot tables so that you can get a better understanding of using pivot tables. So in the first case, let's make a pivot table. We select the whole data set because we'll be using or trying to analyze everything that's there in this sheet. So you select the whole thing, I go to insert, and I create a pivot table and create I selected the range, and I'm going to use this pivot table in a new worksheet. So okay, and I get a new worksheet. So here are the pivot table fields, and I can basically drag and drop them, and the things will appear here. So let's start with very basic stuff. Let's first see how is the age distribution in this data. So I take age in rows. So this looks to be a big column. This is difficult, even more difficult. Okay, so let's put it rows. So I have the distribution here of the age. Now I want to find out what is or how many people are there in each age group. In this case, the group is basically from 19 years to 20 years. There's 1 year gap. Okay, 20 years to 21 years, 21 to 26. So basically, I'll be trying to find out how many people are there in this each particular age. So let's drag age into values because I want to find the values, some value related to age. So I drag age, and now by default it gives me count of ages. So it basically says what is the count of data points in each age. So I'll refer each of these as groups. Age 19 is group 19, age 20 is age group 20. So it's not basically a group, but let's refer these as groups. It will be very easy to say. Okay, so 19 years age, there is only one person in our data set. 20 years age, there are only 2 person. 21, 2 person. 28, 4 person. 44, 4 person. So total there are 49 data points. Okay, now let's try to find out what is the maximum age values in each of these age groups. So I'll go to field setting. I want to find the maximum. Okay, and it will tell me what is the maximum value. You see, the max value is 69 and 69. Okay, yeah. If I want to find out what is the average value in each of these age groups, see, right? Obviously, because 19, all people have 19 age group. All 26 people have same age, 26. So the average is also 26, right? And the average for everyone for the whole data set is 39.16 years. So round off, let's take 40 years. Okay. Now the interesting thing comes when I want to split the data. So if I want to find out what is the age group, if I split the data according to female and male, so I want to split it using drag. So I'll just drag sex below age. So my primary variable is age, right? And the secondary variable is sex. Okay, so it's like 19 years age. There's only one. There's only a female. A male of age 19. 20 years there are female. So it will be better if I take the count. It makes more sense if I take count. Okay. So yeah. So there is only one male of 19 years age. There is one female of 20 years age and one male of 20 years age, and total is 2. You see, one female of 20 years age, one male of 20 years age. So there are total 2 persons of 20 years of age, and this is how things are. So like this, 2 female of 28 years age, 2 male of 28 years of age, and total there are 4 persons. You see, 2 female of 30 years of age, 3 male of 30 years of age. So there are total 5 persons of 30 years of age. So that's how it's a split. It's like these 19, 20, 21 are the bigger points, and these are kind of the subsets, the sub points. Okay, so what happens if I just reverse this? I put sex above age. So now see, male and female, the sex becomes my primary points and the age becomes its subset. You see, so female, there are 17 people, of which 20 years of age there is only one, 26 years of age there is one female, 20 years of age there are 2 females. Similarly for male. You see, so this is how the data is segregated. So now if I want to have another perspective, I can just drag it here. So it's the same thing, 19 years of age there is one male, total 1 person. 20 years of age, 1 female, 1 male, and there are 2 persons. So whichever view is better for you, to understand what's going on in the data, you should approach with that view. It's the same thing that's told, but it's about how you are visualizing the thing, how you arrange the data so that you get to know what's actually happening in the data. Maybe for you, this visualization gives you a better picture. Maybe for someone else, this visualization gives a better picture, or this visualization can help you do further analysis. So it's completely up to the problem set, it's completely up to you how you want to visualize the data. Okay, so I'll put everything back. Yeah. Let's do another thing. So let's try to find out what is the distribution of the yearly earnings according to age. So I want to find it according to age. I want to find the yearly earnings, and What is the value? What do I want to find out? I want to find out something related to yearly earnings, right? So I'll track yearly earnings. By default, it gives a count. How many data points are there in each of these earnings, segregated by the age groups. So if I want to find out what is the average earning, if I want to split based on average earning, I'll go to average. Okay. See, this is the split. So 19 years of age, 1600. There's only one person with 1600. See, total is 1600. Average. 20 years of age, 1700, 4000. Okay. So on an average 28,500. Okay, for 20 years of age. So 28 years of age, this is the average value. Okay, this is how this is a split. So this doesn't make much sense because same thing. 24,500 would have 24,500 for all the people of 29 years of age, and the average would be this value only. But what's needed is basically this last column. Right? So there's various ways. So if I want to split it according to sex now, it splits here. So male, female and male, they both split it. If I want, so it will make sense if I take the count. Actually the count will come the same. Well, max will obviously be the same because of the same value. So okay, this will make much more sense, or some better visualization. So if I take the average value, okay, so for a 19-year-old, there's no 19-year-old female. For 19-year-old male, the average income yearly is 16,000. For 20-year-old female, it's 17,000, and 20-year-old male is 4,000. On an average, a 20-year-old person has 28,500. You see, so it's by distributions that you can find values. Same thing, if you remove this, I want to find for the number of hours worked, and I want to find average distribution for the number of hours worked. See, a 19-year-old male works 45 hours on an average. 20-year-old female 40 hours, and a male 60 hours. So this basically gives you the distribution according to male or female. I can just play around with this data if I want to remove sex and I want to bring in education. So it basically splits the average number of work that is being done based on your educational qualification and your age. You see, it's pretty cool, right? So you can play around with the whole data set, bringing stuff here and there, moving there, and finding out what makes sense so that you understand what's going on in the whole data set. Okay. But pivot tables are just one way, and if the data set is very big, then it's then it's very difficult to actually go through all these numbers. It's very difficult. What's easy are pictures, right? Graphs, charts. These are easy things to visualize. They're rather easier than these, right? So what we'll do is try to make these pivot tables into charts. They're called pivot charts. You find these in insert, you have pivot charts. Okay, so let's start with pivot charts. Let me delete the sheet. Okay, delete the sheet. So this was my original data set, right? So I select the whole, I go to insert and I click on pivot charts, and we'll do the same thing, new worksheet, and this is select a range. Okay, and it creates a chart for me. You could have created from that sheet only, that pivot table sheet only, but I wanted to show you how you can do it from scratch. Okay, so now, as you can see, I can do the whole thing that I did previously and visualize it better with charts. So let me first do something like age distribution. So this is the age, and I want to find out how many people are there, right? So I'll put the values count. So it basically shows me the distribution, right? So I can clearly see, whoa, this is the max, right? I clearly see, I can just point it, so it will tell me the value is 30. 30 years of age has the max number of people, right? Okay, so it's a very beautiful thing to visualize with charts. Charts are so good. Okay, so now if I want to find out like the distribution with, say, sex, okay, so I can like bring sex here and see, orange is male, blue is female, right? And I have the pivot chart going on here as well. So pivot chart we have seen. Let me broaden it, get a big picture. So see, 19 years of age, there is only one male. Okay, it's giving the count. 20 years, there is one male and one female. So as you can see, 3 male, 3 female. Sorry, 3 male, right? 29 years of age. 30 years of age, 3 male. Okay. And max female are in 28, 30, 45 and 59 years of age. This is how the data is distributed, right? Now what we can do is the third thing, and that is find out what was the distribution with age and sex for the average yearly earnings. So I can bring this as I did before, and it's giving the count. So I'll just go to value field setting and give average value. Okay, so see, it's distributed. So we can start with the basic. I'll remove sex first. It's a distribution with age and the average income, and I can clearly see age 37 has way above income, like way above. If you hover the mouse, you can see 306731 is the value. It's way above. And the minimum is this, 21 years of age, 8637. It's a big difference, right? Okay, so this is the variation with age. Now if I want to split it according to sex, I can just type sex here and see male and female distributed for each. 37 is way above, you see the distribution. So I can clearly see in the pivot table, I couldn't have clearly seen that with one shot. Here I can clearly see, just by looking at it at one go, I can see this. Alright, the charts are awesome, man. Okay, so we did for education also, sorry, number of hours worked, not the count. What was the average number of hours worked? And you see, it's pretty good distribution. If you can remember, 37 years of age had the maximum income, but 37 years of age is not having the maximum number of hours worked. So I can clearly say, if you're working maximum number of works, it doesn't guarantee that you will be earning the most, right? I can clearly state from this, right? I can also do something like I can bring it below and say it will split male and female, and it's the same thing again. I can bring it one below the other, or I can just drag it to the column. It's about the visualization. Whichever do you prefer? I prefer this one because I can clearly see it with colors and one stacked beside the other, and clearly gives me an idea. Going below, well, it's again male and female. You see, for 20 years of age, female and male, and it's giving the distribution. But it's kind of difficult for me, you know. If I want to study all the females together, it becomes difficult, right? But for this case, if I want to study all the females together, I can clearly see the blue lines, you know. Yeah, you can obviously say, why not filter the data? Yeah, I can do that. You see the points here? I can filter here, you know. So I can filter sex, right? Sex. I can filter here, click on this, and it'll give me the filter. So I can just filter the female candidates, and I'll only have the female candidates here. That's great. But that's another step, right? If you can visualize the data at one go, why would you do another step? It saves time, man. And if I want to see all the male candidates, this is how it goes. See, 69 years of age, works the highest. Man, 69 years of age and you're working the most. That's incredible. Okay, select all, and I have all the data points. This just blew my mind. It's working the most. Okay, great. So you can have the same thing with education also. You can just pull education here, and you can like average of the education, you know. The average won't make average education that a person has. There are other things, you know, like you can drag this here, and it will now split the age and the number of hours worked. So 20 years of age has two divisions. Either people work 40 hours or 60 hours. If they're working 40 hours, it's here female candidates, and 60 hours generally male candidates. Okay, so this is the distribution. If I bring sex here, it again distributes further, right? And if I bring here, so it basically splits everything, each and every data point. Now this is garbage. Like, seriously, you can't tell anything, right? Except for the fact that this line just scores way above these three lines. Okay, okay, these three lines, they're great, but it's giving the value of education, right? So why not do something like put it here, education I'll bring here, and I'll try to find out the average. Yeah, you see, this is the split. So this splits your education, your sex, your age, and how much you're earning on an average. This you can't tell much because this line just scores above each of these. So you have to cut out some part. If I can zoom into this area, you know, till 10,000, I can make a better guess, a better understanding of the data I'll get, right? So to zoom in, what I do is basically double click here, and it gives me these options, you know. So I'll go to this, and I want to change the vertical axis, right? Go to vertical axis, and I'll have some more options. The last one, and it says axis option. So it gives the minimum and the maximum value, right? So I can choose here. So let me just zoom into 10,000. I want from 0 to 10,000. That's it, not above that. Enter. And yes, I basically zoom into 0 to 10,000, right? Okay, right click, show field list. This is when this again comes back. So I'll just remove these things. Okay. So with age, the average income I can clearly see now. Age and education and the average income, right? So there are many ways of visualizing the data. Pivot tables are great, but for pivot tables, if it's a big data set, spotting some anomaly or spotting something that you need at one go is difficult. There are a lot of steps involved in that. So it's better to create charts. Charts let you get a summary of the whole data. It gives a great visualization power. And so pivot charts are awesome to use or see pivot data. And pivot data just explores a different world for data analysis. I hope you like this video, and if you want to see more of these videos, do say in the comments below. And if you like this video, do press the like button, subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this on data analysis using Excel, and talk to you in the next one. Okay, peace.